أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وبه نستعين اللهم يسر ولا تعسر رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. Inshallah, we continue with our lesson in the book of Ta'lim al-Muta'allim, Tariq al-Ta'allum, which was written by Imam Burhan al-Islam or Burhan al-Din al-Zarnuji. We are almost in the last part of the chapter 2, where in our previous lesson we saw the poem that said, Inna al-hawa lahu al-hawa ahwanu li-ainihi aw bi-ainihi wa sari'u kulli hawa sari'u al-hawan, which says that basically personal desire, a person who follows his personal desire will be in the worst of humiliation. But then he said, وَسَرِعُ كُلُّ هَوَى سَرِعُ هَوَانِ. He said, anyone who follows his personal desire, the personal desire will kill that person in the worst of humiliation. And he made mention of that and continued to advise us by saying, وَيَصْبِرَ على المحن والبليات, right? وَيَصْبِرُ على المحن والبليات. So all this is just trying to advise a student of knowledge when it comes to selecting a teacher or giving himself to a teacher to study. وَيَصْبِرْ عَلَى الْمِحَنِ. So the person should have patience when it comes to al-mihan wal-baliyat. So the test that comes in any situation that one find himself, wal-baliyat, and also challenges. So if you are in a state of studying, either you are in your town or you've traveled purposely for studies, there are possibility of facing some trials. So the test and the challenges that comes, you should have patience with that. And he made mention, فَقَدْ قِيلَ, it's been said, هَزَائِنُ الْمِنَنِ عَلَى قَنَاتِرِ الْمِحَنِ. So basically what it meant by that is the treasures of blessings, things that have blessings in them, are always on the shoulders of the challenges, which means that they are all on the challenges that one faces. So anything that is good, as we saw in the previous poem, which says, لكل إلى شعو العلا حركات ولكن عزيز في الرجال ثبات. So it's just drawing our attention to that by saying that anything that is good, there should be some challenges and difficulties. And it is okay to accept that. And whenever you see or you feel some challenges in anything that you're going to do not just give up. That is in some ways signs of saying that those things are good, and for that matter, keep it up, you will achieve something. Now we continue with today's lesson. وَأُنْشِدْتُ. نعم. So he said that وَأُنْشِدْتُ, a poem. So here we can see that it's been written in what we call Sigha al-Majhul, all right? Which means that we don't know who did that, but we know there was a poem written, all right? But then he said, وَقِيلَ, it's also been said, إِنَّهُ لِعَلِيِّ بِنْ أَبِي طَالِبٍ. Others also said, no, it is Ali ibn Abi Talib who did this poem. Others said, no, it's been done. So regardless of whether it's Ali or whoever, he is just taking this because the same poem also in different sigha, in different wording, was also related to Imam Shafi. All right? So the same thing, but some sort of differences in the same poem that was regarding Imam Shafi. In this poem, what did he say? ألا لا تنال العلم إلا بستة سأنبيك عن مجموعها ببيان ذكاء وحرص واصطبار وبلغة وإرشاد أستاذ وطول زمان. This poem, as I made mention, you will find the same message but different wording with from Imam Shafi'i. Now, ألا لا تنال العلم إلا بستة. It says that yes, لا تنال العلم. Knowledge cannot be gotten. You cannot have knowledge إلا بستة until you compile 6 attributes or 6 qualities. For you to be able to achieve or get knowledge, you need to combine 6 qualities. سأنبيك عن مجموعها ببيان. I'm going to inform you the details of these 6 qualities with clarification. Right? What are they? ذكاء. ذكاء basically means if one needs to have knowledge, they need to be intelligent. So intelligence is one of the qualities of having knowledge. If you are not smart, if being smart here is one thing, and also being knowledgeable is another thing. There are people, when they hear, easily they capture. There are people they have to go through multiple times before they capture. There are some people, no matter how you go forward and backwards, when you finish, they forget. So we're talking about the first two who, regardless, even if there are difficulties, they still will be able to capture the knowledge. They are what we mean by zakah, someone who has intelligence. All right? And then the next thing is wahirsun. Hirs also is like eagerness. You have the urge. You really want to learn. All right? Some people are lazy. They just neglect. They're not interested. But with you, you have hirs. You have that sort of eagerness. You really want to learn. You really want to. You want to grab it anyway, like the way it said, al-hikmatu dalat al-mu'min, that wisdom is a treasure of the believer. And the treasure of a believer that is lost, this believer will be looking for his treasure anywhere. So wherever he grabs it, he will take it. Wherever he sees his treasure, he will take it. So you should be someone who is intelligent and also have the eagerness to study. You really want the knowledge. So it doesn't matter who has the knowledge. That person can be an enemy. That person can be a friend. It doesn't matter. As long as that person has the knowledge, you want it and you want to grab it. So that is number 2. One of the qualities of someone who will be able to acquire knowledge. Apart from intelligence, the person has to have the eagerness to study. Number 3, wastibar. Wastibarun. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala even made mention in the Quran regarding prayer. Wastabir alayh. So alayha. So when you are asked to pray, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, this is going to be difficult. There will be challenges. But istibar basically means patience. Have patience whilst you're going through that. Right? So, and when it comes to knowledge, the same thing. You can be the smartest person. You can also be eager to learn, but short temper, all right, can be a reason why you cannot be in the set of sitting or learning. So here we're talking about having patience, difficulties that comes with the learning, whatever challenges that comes with the learning. Wastabir, have patience. All right? So these are number 3 out of the qualities of someone who is seeking knowledge. Wabulghatun. Al-bulgha also does not necessarily mean someone should have all that he or she wants in terms of sustenance. Bulghatun means sustenance, but enough for you to live on. You don't need to have extraordinary food, whatever. No. If you get enough to live on, just few portion of food that will fill you, that will keep you going, is enough. So as long as you have that. So some people, they want to study. They're really smart. They have all the patience. But unfortunately, the difficulties they're going through is because of lack of sustenance. They have to work and survive. And if you look at the scholars of the past, you see all of them, they have their own jobs that they do. They don't just sit down and say, because I'm a scholar, gather your money and give me. No, they work. All right? So bulghatun here basically means to have sustenance or sufficient enough to live on, not extraordinary. So that number 4 from the 6 that we were told. And number 5, وإرشاد الأستاذ. Unfortunately, these days you will only find few people that will go with the guidance of the teacher. They don't understand the concept of waiting for teachers' direction. You finish this book, you can do this book, or wait for this. When they see someone doing a book or they heard about another book, automatically they want to open that book. Most in case, what will happen is you will be able to finish multiple books, but unfortunately you will not be able to have multiple knowledge because it will lead up to forgetfulness because you did not follow the steps and also the methods in which you need to follow. As you remembered, Zarnuji, he said at the beginning, لما رأيت كثيرا من طلاب العلم يجدون إلى العلم ولا يصلون. When I see lots of students of knowledge trying to seek knowledge, ولا يصلون, but they don't achieve their goal. Why? لما أنهم أخطأوا الطريق, because they have lost the way. ومن أخطأ الطريق ضل. Of course, whoever lost the way has of course gone astray. So we need to be able to wait and have patience for our teachers to direct us and say, these pages or this book that you've done is a stepping stone for this book, and for that matter, you can start this book. Or these sciences that you've done, you are okay to start with another sciences, and that is the best way. So Irshad al-Ustaz is one of the key for a person to acquire knowledge. That is number 5. And the last one, number 6, is وَطُولُ الزَّمَانِ. طُولُ الزَّمَانِ basically means long life or time, or one should have enough time. So sometimes in our life, someone can do the best, but unfortunately they have a short lifespan. You can see the potentials in them, but they don't live long. So for a person to be able to achieve, even though in the past we've seen scholars or heard about scholars, mashallah, tabarakallah, the difference they make up till today in our life, and you compare their lifestyle and how long they live, very, very short lifestyle. Just easy, and this thing we can look at Imam al-Nawawiyah, how long did he live? Look at Ibn Kathir, those guys, but look at what they've left behind that up till today, people are benefiting from. All right? So Tul al-Zaman basically means to have a long life or to have enough time. Naam. So now we are able to look at how to select the knowledge if you travel, and also how to identify a scholar that you can sit in front of. Now, you've got the teacher, you've got the place that you need to study. Now it's up to you to also look at who will be your companion in studies. Are you going to take those that will take you to argument and unnecessary? Oh, do you know in Akida they said that? Then you argue all night. You've not studied. Or anytime you open the book, they will bring an argument and bring a debate and stuff like that. Or you are looking for students who really want to learn so that together you can upgrade each other. So we are looking at ikhtiyar al-shariq, selecting a companion when it comes to studying. Now, it is very important an yakhtar al-mujidda, to select a hard worker, someone who is really energetic. He wants to learn, all right? So he has that sort of zeal. He wants to see himself going. So then together they can push each other. Wal-wara, and also someone who is very mindful when it comes to the deen. Not someone who is breaking the rules of the deen here and there, because for such a person, he will not care if he is going to put you in the ditch. So to select a companion as a student of knowledge, make sure that that person is really eager and he has that sort of energy to study, and also he is someone who is mindful with the deen. Naam. And also sahib al-taba'i al-mustaqim, and that person should be someone who has a good character. Good character, tabi'ah. The person should have a character that is really, really good. ويفر من الكسلان. Huh? You got something? Okay, so now, والمتفهم, and someone who understands easier. ويفر من الكسلان. He should stay away from al-kaslan, lazy person. So when you're studying, don't take a lazy person as a companion, because that person will definitely pull you along with him and you will not be able to study. Wal mu'attil, and also time waster. You know, some people just waste time. Now, wal mikthar, someone who talks a lot, talkative. You know, he just keep talking, never stop. You know, there are some people, they are like a radio station. They just keep talking. They don't know when to stop. So such a person, you want to learn, you open your book and then you heard what happened to Basa, and then the discussion starts. You about to end, you say, oh, I just feel sorry for Real Madrid. Then the discussion starts. So they just keep talking, never stop. So such people, you need to avoid them if you really want to study. Well, mufsid, of course, corrupted person who has bad character, behavior in terms of, it can be bad mouth, he say things in a way that it's not good, talk behind people, gossiping, backbiting, zina, and those sort of character. That person has, don't take such a person as a friend. Well, fattanu, troublemaker. You know, he will cause trouble, and for you, just imagine you are in a hostel with someone, and then he goes and throws stone at somebody, and you have to be chased. So, troublemaker will always create something that will take the attention of what you do instead of studying. So, such people, stay away from them. That's why I said, وَلْيَفِرَّ أَوْ وَيَفِرَّ, he should run away of, stay away from such people, from a lazy person to someone who is time waster, someone who talks a lot, someone who is corrupt, and also someone who is a troublemaker. قال الشاعر, a poet said, عن المرء لا تسأل وأبصر قرينه فكل قرين بالمقارن يقتدي فإن كان ذا شر فجانبه سرعة وإن كان ذا خير فقارنه تحتدي. عن المرء, he said, لا تسأل, do not ask a person, because he is what we call majhul al-hal. You don't know that person, and you said, Rahmatullah, please tell me about you. Are you a good person? Of course, this Baiki will always say he's good. But do not ask him about his character. But absir qarina, look at his companion. Look at his friend. They said birds of the same feathers, right? Yes, so look at the person that the person is engaging with. If you see, so it's just like you are a local person and someone is coming from the other side of the town. When he came as a guest, he went out. The first person in your locality that you see the person with, look at that person that you knew. They will have the same character. It's amazing, just like someone who smokes. They come to a new place where they don't know how to smoke. Straight away when they go out on the street, they know their company. They know people who smoke, straight away to ask them where to get cigarette. So, anil mar'i, with a person, la tas'al, don't ask the person about their character. Absir karina, look at their companion. Look at those that they mingle with. Okay? فَكُلُّ قَرِينٍ بِالْمُقَارَنَةِ يَقْتَدِي. فَكُلُّ قَرِينٍ, because every companion, every friend, يَقْتَدِي, he will be guided bil-muqarana, with the person that is closer to him in character. Alright? فَإِنْ كَانَ ذَا شَرٌ, if that person is a bad person, فَجَانِبْهُ سُرْعَةً, quickly stay away from him. وَإِنْ كَانَ ذَا خَيْرٍ, if that person has good with him, تَحْتَدِي, فَقَارِنْهُ, get closer to him, تَحْتَدِي, you will be guided. Alright? So anyone that you meet, before you just relax and just make friendship with that person, observe, sit down and check what sort of person is he, before you just relax and give yourself to that person. Naam, wa unshidtu. Naam, another poem that I got in this title on this information that we're talking about. لا تصحب الكسلان في حالته كم صالح بفساد آخر يفسد عدوى البليد إلى الجليد سريعة كالجمر يوضع في الرماد فتخمد لا تصحب الكسلاني. Do not take a lazy person as a companion, as a friend. Al-Kaslan, lazy person, لا تصحبه. Don't take such a person as a friend. في حالته, in his affairs of laziness. Why is it so? كم صالح, most good people, يفسدوا, they became bad, بفساد آخر, because of other people that they are with. All right? Most good people with good character, unfortunately, because of their companions, because of their friends, they tend to be bad. As teachers, we always talk about that. Some kids, even parents, can say, my child is one of the angels in my house. But the moment their child goes to school, they meet kids that can easily influence them. All right? So bad company then make the child fall into a bad decision. All right? So it says that do not take a lazy person as a friend in his affairs, for indeed most good people became bad because of the people that they mingle with. So imagine yourself taking someone here as a friend. I'm not mentioning name. These hands are taking us to. You'll be lazy. نعم عدوى البليد إلى الجليد سريعا. نعم, infection of a dull person, okay, it's easy to make a hard worker also lose and become lazy like him. It's just like taking, he said, kaljamri. It's just like taking coal of fire. يوضع في الرماد, you put it in ashes. What happened? The fire will quench. Okay? فَتُخْمَدْ, the fire will quench. Definitely, if you put red charcoal, which is really burning, in ashes, it won't survive. Right? So that is to tell you that you can be the best of people, but bad company can make you the worst of people. Now, as the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, every person, كل مولود, every person يولد على فطرة الإسلام, is born with the sincerity in believing and full submission to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Every child is born as a Muslim. That is how we translate it. Every child is born with the natural instincts to understand and accept his or her creator. Every child is born with that natural instincts. But what happened? Environment in which that child grows can then determine whether that child will be able to hold on to that natural instincts. Illa anna abawayhi yahudanihi, right? Except when he grew up with the parents that are not Muslim, they are Jew, then the child becomes Jew as well. All right? Aw yunasiranihi, or if the parents are Christians, then the child grow up to be Christian. Aw yumajisanihi, or if the parents are idol worshipping or worshipping fire, then this child will grow up or to also become Majus, worshipping fire. So because of the environment, that child will end up being what he grew to see doing. The same thing applies to a child even born still in the family that is surrounded with Muslims. If that family are corrupt, this child will be the same. So parents have to be the best of example for their children when it comes to their deen. Now, this hadith, يقال في حكمة الفارسية. So this poem that is coming is in the Faris language, so we don't want to mess up the pronunciation. We'll only go with the meaning. I got a Faris friend who read it to me multiple times, and I said, man, if I read it, I'll spoil meaning. So let's leave it as it is. But what does this poem basically means? It said, a bad friend is worse than an evil snake. A bad friend is worse than an evil snake. That is the first part of the poem. I swear by the pure essence of the eternal God, which is eternal Allah. That is the second part of the poem. Now the third part, which is the second line, it says, a bad friend or a bad companion leads you towards hell. All right? And then the second part of that said, take a good companion in order to secure success, which means to secure Jannah. So that is Ya bi Na'im, the last bit. So take a good companion, Ya Ratiku Kukairata, Ya bi Na'im. All right? Take a good companion in order to secure success, which is Jannah. Which means that this is a pure wording to say that if you don't take care of the people, or you are not mindful of the people you consider friends, you will end up in trouble. So those are all advice for a student of knowledge who really want to learn, that we should be mindful who are our friends, who are our companions when it comes to studies, different from your companion in business. Everyone, if you are even doing business, you want someone who have business strategies and ideas that will what? Make you profit. The same thing applies to when you want to study. You look at someone who is hardworking, who really care about the studies, who only time when they sit down, they want to talk about that. With such people, you will excel. Now, we take the last part of it, I think. That's the last part with yours as well. وَقِيلَ is been said. إن كنت تبغي العلم من أهله أو شاهدا يخبر عن غائب فاعتبر الأرض بأسمائها واعتبر الصاحب بالصاحب. The last advice, still regarding who is to become a companion of studies, is إن كنت تبغي العلم من أهله. If you really want ilm or knowledge from those who have knowledge, أو شاهدا يخبر عن غائب, or someone who witnessed that is going to give information about what they saw to those that have not seen, then observe in this regard, فَاعْتَبِرُوا الْأَرْضَ بِأَسْمَائِهَا. See the localities and the communities and the towns and countries with their names. If the people are good, they will make sure they select good names and good meaning. If the people are bad, you will see some funny names that will come with that environment. So observe such environment and see the names that they chose for themselves. وَاعْتَبِرُ الصَّاحِبْ بِالصَّاحِبْ. And also be mindful and observe friends that go together and see how they help each other or they drag each other to the ditch. Wallahu a'lam. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت ونستغفرك ونتوب إليك سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.